Okay, folks, here we go again. My focus, what's been on my mind continually for days now is the dentate gyrus, or dentate gyrus, however, tomato, and what may be taking place in that part of the brain in regards to this activity that we enjoy calling remote viewing. Part of the hippocampal formation over there in the hippocampus. And I will discuss here why I feel this part of the brain is so important to the process of remote viewing, what is taking place during an actual remote viewing. In this part of the brain is something that is called neurogenesis. And neurogenesis may be my new favorite word. It may be my new favorite word. But I'm very interested in the dentate gyrus because, let me see how they describe it here. The spontaneous exploration of novel environments. That's why it's so important. There's several things going on with this part of the brain, but some of them that in my opinion, and as I'm exploring, and again, I'm exploring these parts of my brain because I'm using these under blind conditions, these blind targets to stimulate these parts of my brain. And when I feel them stimulated, I then express what is being stimulated, and then I want to go in and detect what parts of my brain I feel have been stimulated and with what. Then I go and I research, and then I find these things. That's how I found the dentate gyrus, or the cerebral peduncle, or any of those. But there's a couple of interesting things that are taking place here. And this is why I feel it's so important. There's two elements that take place there. One is called pattern separation, and the other is called pattern completion. And those things, it is believed, are taking place in this part of the brain. Pattern separation is where this neurogenesis is taking place. And where in our brains we can distinguish one pattern from another. In novel environments, in the exploration of novel environments, including, as I hypothesize, the human experience that we call curiosity, which in my again, I've said this many times over the years, but in my opinion, one of the greatest underappreciated human experiences that we can possibly have. The other one is called separation completion, and that's where in this area of the brain, it's pieces of a pattern are taken and they're completed, or a partial pattern is perceived. But if it has qualities of it that are, as I like to call them, comparators, it will fill in those gaps. So you could miss some things under the under the category of pattern completion. And that is, as I'm looking at this, where we can see things like analytical overlay, and these types of things. That's super important, because I'm the only one who's finding these things, and that's why my work is so important. Here's an example here where I want to go in and find it, and I got a few more things I want to say about this too. All right, I'm getting into the space. This is a good example of, okay, let's go back. Right there was where it hit. Let me show you. Boom, right there. And I'm like, oh man, really? Let me show you that again. Boom, right there. I'm like, ah, freaking building. Come on, give me something more interesting. In there are elements of pattern completion as well, but also pattern separation, because I've never been to this place here. It is a novel environment to me. I'm going to try to get a little, I don't know if I got anything else across. I want to feel, I'm trying to feel it here, but this is the main element here. I'm also looking here for action potential. Action potential is what is taking place in the synapses here, in the parts of my brain that are getting stimulated. So I'm also looking to detect and experience that action potential, because I want to be able to find it. Because in there is going to be the raw versions of the state in which this range of time and space exists, and I want to experience those as well. But this is way along in the process. So by the time the quote-unquote stimulus, the quote-unquote input, the quote-unquote target, or as I like to say, it's the range of time and space, by the time it gets here into the hippocampus, into the dentate gyrus, it has moved. It has moved a considerable amount of space, meaning that, in my point of view, this is not the axis. This is where the stimulus has been delivered in order to translate the state that the input exists in spatially. The neurogenesis, which is my new favorite word, is where neurons are being created to objectify the novel environment here. It can come into play more in the deeper elements of a remote viewing, where more new type of information is coming from. But this is a place I've never been to, so it would qualify as a novel environment to me. So that's it for this one, and many more to go.